Howdy y'all, and welcome into the Wylie Sports Guy. I'm your host Clayton, and I'm so happy to have y'all here today on Saturday, June 28th of 2025. Let's get into today's news. Yesterday in the NBA, as we all know, Cooper Flagg officially arrived in Dallas-Fort Worth. Yesterday in his introductory press conference, there was a couple of big moments, including I know a lot of you have seen now a picture of his side eye when they were talking about Nico Harrison with the trade of Luka. You can see Cooper just giving that little side eye over to Nico with a little smirk on his face. Flagg also said during the press conference that it was a blessing to be a rare number one pick who isn't a centerpiece of a rebuilding franchise, landing now on a Dallas Mavericks roster that is loaded with veterans, including a few future Hall of Famers. My prediction on that was probably Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and maybe even Klay Thompson. You can go with those opinions as you would. That came from ESPN's Tim McMahon. And then also Cooper said he was ready for the new food that was coming in from lobster rolls. Instead, now he will be having Mexican and barbecue food. In other NBA news, number 5 pick Ace Bailey is planning to report to the Utah Jazz today. We have not heard anything yet, but that is what a Jazz representative told ESPN. Minnesota Timberwolves center Naz Reid is planning to sign a 5-year, $125 million year, so congratulations to him on that. And then an autographed rookie Michael Jordan card sold for $2.5 million yesterday in an auction. So, yeah, that's a lot of stuff. By the way, also, the Mavs Summer League schedule did drop. I do not have that for you right now, but you can check the Mavs Instagram page to see the schedule for yourself. But I will be showing it off Monday when we come back for Wylie Sports Guy. I will make sure to put that on our Canva, our little pages that I make out of Canva. You can see that on our Wylie Sports Guy Instagram page. Let's real fast check in with the Dallas Cowboys as this week they announced their Oxnard training camp schedule. You can check that out at dallascowboys.com. You will find that under the news tab, and it is one of the first links and stories you will see. They will head to Oxnard starting on July 20th. So Oxnard is coming very soon, just here in a few weeks. Let's check in now on the Dallas Stars as they're getting ready for today's NHL Draft from the second round to the 7th round. We now check in on the Dallas Stars, who are doing their NHL Draft picks as we have seen. They started their draft picking today at round 3, pick 94, by picking right winger out of Canada, Cameron Schmidt. He comes from the WHL Vancouver team. Round 4, they picked up forward American Brandon Gorzinski. He is also from the WHL. He came from the Calgary team. Round 5, pick 146, acquired from the New Jersey Devils, was center Ate Joki, as he now joins the Finnish Mafia, as we call it, as he is another Finn to join the Dallas Stars. Round 5, pick 158, they picked goaltender Måns Goos from Sweden. Round 6, pick 190 is right winger Dustin Sharkey, Canadian, from the QSJHL League. I hope I said that correctly. Remember, you can go to NHL.com and you can see the full draft breakdown as that's coming out. Round 7, pick 222 has still yet to be picked for the Dallas Stars. We will give you that pick on Monday. One of the picks that were traded by the Dallas Stars to the Chicago Blackhawks, that was center Ivan Rybikin from Russia. He was part of the USAHL. That was at pick 62. That was traded through the Dallas Stars. By the way, the NHL Draft, if you're wondering what it's on NHL Network and ESPN Plus at this time. Other Dallas Stars news from the first round last night, Joshua Ravensbergen, the goaltender, was picked up by the Sharks. That was in the pick from Mikael Granlund and the Cody Ceci trade. Also, shout out to Stars GM Jim Neal, who won the NHL GM of the Year award yesterday. Other NHL news and recap: the Avalanche traded forwards Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood to the Blue Jackets for Calvin Gavin Brindley and a 2025 77th pick this year in the NHL Draft, and a conditional 2027 second-round pick. Florida Panthers playoff MVP Sam Bennett signed an 8-year contract extension also yesterday. The New York Islanders were the ones to have the number 1 pick of the NHL Draft. They selected defenseman Matthew Schaefer. They were also in other news as they traded defenseman Noah Dobson to the Canadiens for forward Emil Heineman and number 16 pick winger Victor Eklund and number 17 pick defenseman Keyshawn Atkinson. Those will all go to the Islanders. Also, in really cool news and heartfelt news, Meredith Gaudreau, the wife of her late husband Johnny Gaudreau, picked the Columbus Blue Jackets number 14th pick. NHL fans absolutely loved it by shouting Johnny and Johnny Hockey in honor of the late Johnny Gaudreau. So guys, we'll get you that 7th pick, but let's go check out the Diamond and see what's up with the Rangers. Let's now check in on the Diamond and let's check in on some MLB news. We'd be praying now for former Rangers manager Ron Washington, who now will miss the remainder of the season on medical leave. He is now also the Angels manager. Prayers up for Wash at this time. Reds pitcher Nick Martinez yesterday almost had a no-hitter, but was unfortunately 3 outs away. And then also shout out to first baseman of the Reds, Spencer Steer, who had 4 home runs in this game against the Padres. Reds won that game, by the way, 8-1. Moving on, also Ketel Marte was welcomed with a standing ovation yesterday in Marte's first at-bat back at Chase Field due to some heckling that happened a couple days ago against the Chicago White Sox. That fan has now been banned at all 32 MLB ballparks. Just keep the prayers going for Marte and the rest of that organization and his family as he continues to go through those just emotions of that time. But shout out, great class act move by the Arizona Diamondbacks fans on yesterday's game. Moving on to Texas Ranger news, John Gray threw a bullpen session on Wednesday prior to the Rangers game against the Orioles. Jock Peterson was also given clearance to shed a splint that he had been wearing on his hand. Jock is still day-to-day at this time. Should be returning soon. Cody Bradford went in an internal brace procedure yesterday on his left elbow to repair his UCL. He will still be out about 10 to 12 months, but not 12 to 18 like some Ranger fans were thinking if he was going to have Tommy John. Wyatt Langford yesterday headed to the 10-day IL with what Langford says is a minor strained left oblique injury. Due to that, Michael Hellman was called up from Round Rock. Dane Dunning was sent back to Round Rock as Nathan Eovaldi was activated from the 15-day IL. He did start against the Mariners last night. Checking out on some other MLB Friday scores before we get to the Texas Rangers Seattle Mariners recap. Rays won 22-8 over the Orioles. Reds won 8-1 over the Padres, like I said. Cardinals beat the Guardians 5-0. Phillies beat the Braves 13-0. Astros beat the Cubs 7-4. And the Dodgers hang on the road to beat the Royals 5-4. Moving on to the Rangers-Mariners recap for y'all. Top of the first inning, Jorge Polanco singled to right. That would score Julio Rodriguez. Bottom of the first, though, Rangers would strike back on a Corey Seager home run to right center at 395 feet. Top of the third inning, Mariners would strike back yet again with a Jorge Polanco fielder's choice groundout that would score J.P. Crawford. Randy Arozarena would then hit a sac fly to left that would score Julio Rodriguez. Moving on to the top of the fourth, Seattle would continue the scoring on a Julio Rodriguez groundout to shortstop that would score Ben Williamson. Moving on to the top of the sixth, J.P. Crawford scored on a wild pitch by Texas Ranger pitcher Cole Winn. Rangers would finally strike back in the bottom of the sixth with Marcus Semien doubling to left. That would score Josh Smith. Adolis Garcia would continue the hit train as he would single to center. That would score Semien and Sam Haggerty. Bottom of the seventh, Sam Haggerty would hit a single to center. That would score Josh Smith. The game would be tied going into the bottom of the ninth, but at the top of the 10th, Donovan Solano would single to left. That would score Dylan Moore to give the Mariners a 6-5 lead. Bottom of the 10th, though, Rangers would strike back on an Adolis Garcia sac fly. That would score Sam Haggerty. But in the top of the 12th, Miles Mastrobuoni would single to left. He would score Randy Arozarena to make this game 7-6. He would also save the day for the Mariners, and the Mariners would hang on to beat the Rangers 7-6 in 12. Moving on to the pitching breakdown, Nathan Eovaldi, as we all know, got activated yesterday from the IL. He would pitch 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Jacob Webb would come back after him. That would be 2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, and 1 walk. Cole Winn, 1 inning pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Holby Milner, 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Chris Martin, 1 inning pitched, 1 hit. Robert Garcia, 1 inning pitched, 1 strikeout. Luke Jackson, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. And then Sean Armstrong would close the day with a 1 inning pitch, 1 hit, and 1 run. The win would go to Eduard Bazardo of the Mariners, and the loss would go to Sean Armstrong of the Rangers. Moving on to the MLB Saturday slate, currently right now on FS1 in the top of the 5th inning. Rangers and the Mariners also on Rangers Sports Network and Victory Plus. Rangers lead the game right now 2-1 thanks to a Corey Seager go-ahead home run that happened in the bottom of the 3rd. Phillies and Braves and Cubs and Astros will be on the Baseball Night in America Saturday game of the week on Fox. Those get going at 6:15 p.m. FC Dallas is in action also tonight in the MLS. They will play San Diego FC here at home. That gets going at 6:30 p.m. on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV+. Let's now check in on the Dallas Wings, who had their game last night in the American Airlines Center. That recap is coming up right now for you. Yes, I said that right. The Dallas Wings were at the American Airlines Center in the anticipated matchup of Paige Beckers versus Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Unfortunately, Caitlin Clark couldn't play last minute due to a groin injury. She was ruled out of last night's game. The Fever had the game in halftime 56-40, and they would end up winning the game 94-86. The Fever would be led by Kelsey Mitchell, who had 32.7 assists and 3 rebounds. Aaliyah Boston would have 21 points, 3 assists, and 6 rebounds. Natasha Howard with 15 points, 4 assists, 13 rebounds, and 3 steals. Ari McDonald, 13.6 assists and 2 rebounds. Sophie Cunningham with 5 points, no assists, 4 rebounds, and a steal. Lexi Hull with 3 points, no assists, 2 steals, and a block, and 2 rebounds, as well as 2 steals. Michaela Timpson, 3 points, no assists, 2 rebounds, and a steal. Sydney Colson, 2 points, 3 assists, and no rebounds. Moving on to the Wings, Paige Beckers led the way with 27 points, 6 assists, 1 rebound, 2 steals, and a couple of blocks. Enrique Ogunbowale, 15 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 1 steal, and a block. Zia James, 14 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound, and 1 steal. Maisha Hines-Allen, 9 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound, and a steal. Melissa Smith, 7 points, 2 assists, and 10 rebounds. Lee Yeru, 7 points, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. JJ Quinterly, 5 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Kalia Charles, 2 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. Wings are back in action tonight here in DFW at the College Park Center in Arlington at 7 p.m. That is going on KFA here in DFW and elsewhere on the WNBA League Pass. The U.S. men's national team is also in action tomorrow night for the soccer and Gold Cup quarterfinals against Costa Rica. That is at 6 p.m. on Fox tomorrow night. F1 gets going tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. in Australia or Austria. I think it's Australia. On ESPN, McLaren's Lando Norris on the pole. Checking in on Golf Rocket Classic update. Leader in round 3 is South African Andrew Pottinger. Tied for 6th right now is USA Colin Morikawa. He is 15 under at this moment. Pottinger, by the way, is 22 under. Wyndham Clark, Ricky Fowler, and Tom Kim were all below the cut line and did not make it into round 3. Checking in on Live Golf Dallas in Carrollton. The round 2 leader at this time is Patrick Reed with 9 under. John Rahm is 5 under, Dustin Johnson and Abraham Ancer are 4 under, and DFW's Bryson DeChambeau is 2 under at this time. We also got some NASCAR action that happened last night, the Xfinity Series in Atlanta. The pole winner was Sheldon Creed, but a first-time winner last night at Atlanta went to Nick Sanchez. Second was JRM's Carson Kvapil. Third was Sam Mayer for the Haas Factory team. Fourth was JRM's Connor Zilic. He is also running the Cup race tonight as well. Fifth was Taylor Gray for Joe Gibbs Racing. Sixth was Jesse Love for Richard Childress Racing. And seventh was Eric Almirola for Joe Gibbs Racing. Speaking of which, the NASCAR Cup Series races tonight at Atlanta at 6 p.m. on TNT, True TV, and Max. The poll, by the way, yesterday went to Joey Logano. Corey Heim won today's race at Lime Rock Park. He was the pole winner and the winner of today's truck race. And then other DFW sports news, Paige Beckers is ruled out tonight against the Washington Mystics. And it's some pretty cool news. Texas Longhorns, I think it was Colin Simmons and Micah Parsons held a special needs football camp today at Duncanville High School. You can also check out my newest Chill with Clayton video, Clayton's VBS and Camp Adventures. It came out last night. I hope y'all like that one and give it a follow and a subscribe. Also, give us ourselves a subscribe here on our YouTube channel. Follow the Wylie Sports Guy Instagram page and follow Chill with Clayton also on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. You can check out that Clayton's VBS and Camp Adventures right there for you. Well, guys, that's today's episode. As I always say, don't mess with Texas. Keep Jesus first. God bless. I will see y'all Monday. Peace out, y'all.